Hello everyone, Chef Ron Locke here, host of the Chef Ron Locke Show. And continuing with our season break specials we're doing for you, we're taking the very favorites of our season 1 of the Chef Ron Locke Show and going back into the annals of my very first cooking show called the Chuckwagon Cowboy. And this week we flip back to the Chuckwagon Cowboy Show with season 1 and episode 9, which is called Corn and Jalapeno Casserole, which debuted on August 28th, 2011. Now, when you watch this episode, you'll see that, and if you've ever followed my first show, you'll see that this is about the time I started getting a little more comfortable with the show. This show only runs about 7 minutes and 30 seconds, so this won't take you all very long to watch this week's episode. But in this 7 minutes and 30 seconds, you're going to see I start becoming a little more comfortable in front of the camera. I'm still kind of stick-figured, and I'm still a little headlights in the eyes like a deer out there, but you'll see that I'm starting to warm up a little bit more to the camera. We didn't do a lot of tips and a lot of chatting back in that time frame because we were still trying to get familiar of where exactly we wanted this show to go. And it eventually got there. We eventually did 30-minute episodes, and it really started becoming a great show. But this is one of those classic episodes where we were still feeling our way out. But beyond all that, you're going to find a great recipe. Corn and Jalapeno Casserole is a fantastic side dish that goes great with barbecuing, and that's why I wanted to do it in the summertime, because I wanted to give people something different to do as a side when they were grilling out for, you know, families, gatherings, get-togethers, that kind of thing. This goes great with pork and chicken and beef and fish. I mean, it goes great with everything. So anything you can, any kind of meat or poultry or fish you throw on the grill, this side dish makes a great complement. So check this out. I think you'll like it. I think it'll be a great 7 minutes and 30 seconds invested in your time, and I think you're going to find a really great recipe that you're going to want to try out here. And you might get a little entertainment too watching me sort of a little more stiffer than I am on my current show, and I'm a little less comfortable than I am today. But at any rate, let's go ahead and roll this for you. This is from the Chuckwagon Cowboy, Season 1, Episode 9, debuting originally on August 28th, 2011, called Corn and Jalapeno Casserole. This is Chef Ron Locke. We will see you on Season 2 coming up very, very soon. Stay tuned for details on that. We'll start showing those to you. And enjoy our show. Well, hey, y'all. We're just watching a little TV here and eating a little popcorn. And speaking of popcorn, popcorn is one of the things that corn's derived from. Corn, you also got your corn on the cob and cream corn and niblets and cornmeal, all kinds of things that corn comes from. And on today's episode, we're going to go ahead and make a recipe that is based on corn. So, tell you what, why don't you just hang in there, wait for the credits, stick around. We're going to have a great show for you, all right? I'm going to get back to my TV show. Howdy y'all, and welcome to another episode of the Chuckwagon Cowboy. Ron Locke here. And on today's episode, we're going to talk about a casserole that is from the Southwest, that originated from the Southwest. This actually came from a close friend of mine from, 20-some years ago when I used to live back up in Wisconsin. And he was one of my old co-workers back at the shoe store I worked at. And he had brought in this casserole that had corn and jalapeno pepper and some other good ingredients in it. And I'd never tasted anything like this before, but I can tell you that it was fantastic. So, of course, I had to ask for the recipe, and he gladly obliged and gave me that. And I've made a couple adaptations of his recipe since, but he was from El Paso. So, in honor of him, I've called today's recipe my El Paso jalapeno and corn casserole. So, we're going to mix that up today. Let's get on with the ingredients. Alright, well, first of all, we've got 4 15-ounce cans of whole kernel corn. Make sure you drain it before you put it in, alright? Next we have 1 stick or a half a cup of butter. We've got one 8-ounce package of cream cheese softened. We've got one 12-ounce can of evaporated milk. We've got 4 tablespoons of all-purpose flour. We've got one jalapeno pepper, seeded and diced. And lastly, we've got one small can of diced green chilies, and these have been drained. Actually, these are green chilies with some tomatoes in it. So I thought I'd give it a little extra kick today. Alright? So what we're going to do now is we're going to go ahead and grab a pot and get over to the stove and start making this meal. Well, alright, so now we have gone ahead and added our evaporated milk and our flour into the pot here. And what you want to look for is a creamy consistency here, and you want it to thicken up as it's starting to do right now. It usually takes about 5 minutes. All this, again, is done on medium heat, and you just want to keep stirring this, but you're seeing already how it's starting to thicken up here. Okay, that's what we want. We want that thick consistency. So we're probably about 2 minutes into it right now. So I'm going to continue stirring, and we're going to go ahead and put the rest of the ingredients here in just a moment. Okay, so now we've gone ahead and thrown our jalapeno pepper in and our chilies with the tomato, as you can see. And we're going to go ahead and just stir this all up for about a minute. That's all you really need to do. You can see how thick and creamy our casserole mixture is getting here. This is really good. It's starting to really smell good too. It's got a real good smell here. Alright, so what we're going to do next, we're going to go ahead and add in the corn, and we're going to be ready to go ahead and pour this into a casserole dish. Alright, we've just gone ahead and put in the corn, and we're just going to stir this in. And what you do is once you get your peppers and your chilies mixed up, you want to take you want to turn the heat off, turn off the stove, and then go ahead and put your corn in. So you don't want to have any heat when you add your corn, and that's what we're doing here. So we're just going to mix this all up here. And then what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and pour this into our 9x13 lightly greased baking dish. And we'll get set to put this in the oven. Alright, well, we've gone ahead and preheated our oven to 400 degrees Fahrenheit. And we have gone and poured our El Paso jalapeno and corn casserole mixture into our 9x13 inch baking dish here, lightly greased. And we're about ready to go ahead and throw this in the oven. Now we're going to throw this in the oven for approximately 30 minutes or until it gets bubbly golden brown on top. Going ahead and put this in the oven. I've got 30 minutes to kill, so I think I'm going to go ahead and pay some bills. So we'll be back when this is done for the final presentation. Alright, well, here we are with our El Paso jalapeno and corn casserole just out of the oven. Let it set for about 10 minutes, and we have gone ahead and set our little plate for our little presentation taste here that we always do on the show. And I'm going to go ahead and give it a bite, see how it tastes. You never know. I mean, we've all had some bad things happen, so it's never a sure thing here when I try this. So let's always hope. This is yeehaw. This is very good. I'm going to tell you what I'm feeling right now. I'm tasting the jalapeno. Now, we added one jalapeno in this, so it's a mild version of this. If you like a fire engine type, hot, spicy type of a casserole, you need to add maybe another one or two more jalapenos in to really get it going. I like a little mildness to mine. I like all the flavors to kind of simmer together. So, but I can taste the jalapenos. I'm tasting the chilies, the tomato. I'm definitely tasting the corn. There's some great flavors. The butter. There's some great flavors going on here. So, this is a very, very, very good dish, and I would totally recommend this as a side for maybe some baby back ribs or some barbecue pork chops. Something like that. It was a good side casserole to have with that kind of a main meat. So, something to think about, alright? And signing off here from the Chuckwagon Cowboy Show, this is Ron Locke saying good eating and happy trails.